Hey, everybody. It's your lovely Lotus Blossom Lizzie. And today we are going to be doing another page in our Junk Mail Magazine Junk Journal. Can you say that 3 times, jumping up and down, rubbing the top of your head, and chewing gum? No. But I managed to do it. So if you love videos like this and you love junk journals and making junk journal stuff, then you'll want to make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit the notification button so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out. Oh, and don't forget, you can head over to the Patreon channel to kind of support and also get a ton of extra content as well over at patreon.com/LizForAday. So the first thing that I always like to do is to put my backgrounds down. Now you saw that I used an IKEA kind of a ruler, it's a paper ruler, and you can get those free when you go to IKEA. So if you go to IKEA, pick you a few of those up. They are fantastic for using in the junk journals. And then I used an encyclopedia page. I got these encyclopedias just of late from a thrift store, and I love the paper. It's like kind of nice and thin, and it just makes fantastic collage papers. I'm definitely going to be putting those in collage packs that are up in the shop. So if you haven't visited the shop, there is tons of ephemera there as well over at pleasantcreations.com. So the next thing I did was spray some of my homemade ink spray. I actually used some acrylic ink and kind of watered it down, and I kind of spritzed it on the page. That's the blue color that you see there. And then I took some of the Heidi Swap, and I wasn't able to spray it because my sprayer, it didn't want to spray. It's been quite a while since I actually used this spray, so I decided just to add some dots for some interest. Now keep in mind, I don't always know where I'm going to go with these pages when I start. I just kind of let the pages speak to me as I go. I did know that I wanted to use that little ticket that had the 75 cents because it kind of reminded me of thrifting. And then once I kind of pulled that out, I knew what I wanted to do at that point. So you'll see. I'm going to share that with you while we're going. Now, I also use this Monopoly money. And yes, it doesn't look like regular Monopoly money. It's actually from one of the theme Monopolies, which is Star Wars. And I decided to use that. Now, I have some of this up in the shop as well, so if you need some Monopoly money, you can pick that up. And surprisingly, Monopoly money goes really fast out of the shop. But this, again, is the themed Monopoly money, so you can check that out if you want. And I'll have all the links to the supplies and whatever I mentioned down below in the description as well. So I just picked like one of each denomination to put on here, and I love colors, and I love all the mishmash of colors that I've been able to get in this wonderful journal. I didn't know I was going to love this journal so much when I made it. If you missed me making this, there'll be a link below to when I made this. It's a really easy journal, fantastic for first-time newbies for junk journaling. So definitely check that out. So I just used my regular purple glue because that's like my favorite is glue to use. It sticks really well, and I can always see when it's drying, so I love using the purple glue. Now, once I got everything kind of down in place where I wanted to put it, I just got out some of my white acrylic paint, which I definitely need more of because she's almost on empty with that. And I decided to, not only with the white, but I just kind of took out some colors that match the money in its different denominations. And I decided to cover up the little Star Wars theme piece. So, even though some of the money was upside down, it didn't matter because my plan was to cover it anyway. So I just got out a brush, and this is like the lazy man's paint way, y'all. I just put the paint right on the brush so I would have less of a cleanup. Because, when we're doing the junk journaling, it's just so easy to just get stuff everywhere. You pull stuff out and then you decide not to use it and it ends up on your desk and you say, I'm going to put that away later, and then you don't, and then it just ends up on the desk, and then you have paintbrushes that need to be cleaned and glue everywhere, and it can just be a little bit of a disaster in my case. So this was one way I was able to kind of combat the messiness by just putting a little bit of paint on the end of a brush and then painting it on. And that worked really well for me. Now you'll notice that some of the images are kind of coming through the paint once it got dry. And I did use my trusty heat gun to dry everything off camera because, I know y'all didn't want to see all that. We're trying to make this as quick as possible, but not too fast, of course. Y'all, did y'all hear that? It is thundering right now. So hopefully I'll get through this without losing any power, but I'm just saying. It's monsoon season here in Florida. So I decided to spray a little bit more of the Heidi Swapp Color Shine on because, I just felt like I didn't have enough of that on here. I don't know why. The page was speaking to me, and that's what it told me. It said it wanted more spritzing. So then I took out some of these botanicals, and I actually now have a botanicals download printables in the shop over at pleasantcreations.com. I have a link below to that. And there's also a perk or a reward over at Patreon. And so you can pick that up over there as well if you are a Patreon member. So just check in the rewards categories and you'll see there is a download there just for you I made. So I took out quite a few of them. And then I took out some of my vintage words, which is a printable again as well. And then some tickets. And the tickets also I put up on Patreon as well. So if you all hear that beeping, that's just one of my backup batteries it needs to be changed. And I do have one on order, but I don't have it yet. So on a few videos, you may hear that backup battery going off until I get that fixed. So my apologies for that. I don't apologize for much, but I'll apologize for that. But really, it's kind of out of my hands. So I took these little pieces over. I made them into some clusters, and I took them over to my whippersnapper. And for those of you who are new to the channel, the whippersnapper is my sewing machine. It's my SQ9185 Brothers computerized sewing machine, which I love so dearly that I named it the whippersnapper. And it has beautiful stitching on it, but I basically use a straight stitch on this particular application, and I just kind of did a messy stitch around twice, and those clusters gave me life. I think I'm going to have to just make some as a Project 20 as well. What do you all think? Leave in the comments, would you like to see a Project 20 with those clusters? Let me know. I would love to know. Now I took out my clickable words stamps, and I haven't used my stamps in a long time, and I wanted to kind of find a way to use them. So this was my way of thinking. So now you're probably wondering, okay, what are these words meaning? We have who, what, and then you can kind of guess what the rest of the words are going to be. Who, what, when, where, and how. I think who, what, when, where, how. I'm doing it on my hand. Yeah, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6. And then there's one more. But they're all there, so you'll see when I stamp them. Yeah, it's been a while since I recorded this video, so I'm just now doing the speakeasy here for this. And so I don't remember exactly everything before I see it. So I'm just saying, y'all, cut me some slack, okay? I'm sharing with you, all right? So my thinking behind this was, okay, that's 75 cents. It reminded me of how much I love to go thrifting. So I decided to do some journaling about my love for thrifting. And so that include the who, what, when, where, how, and why. And so for under each card, I decided to do a little bit of hidden journaling, which is nothing secretive or anything. I just wanted to do it that way this time. Sometimes I do my journaling out in the open, and sometimes I do it in a hidden way. But usually, I don't write anything in my journals that, if somebody grabbed my journal and tried to read it, I would try to, throat chop them or anything. They could keep their throats because I wouldn't mind if they read it. But in this particular instance, I decided to write on the back of those cards and just kind of let the florally aspect of the images kind of speak for themselves on here. Because, why? Because that's what the page was telling me. I'm trying to tell you all, the page speaks to me. And if you're new to doing junk journaling, I know a lot of people think it's kind of a complicated process, but really it's not complicated at all. Sometimes I just start putting things down onto the page and then that's it. It's a wrap. Things just start flowing. And, it does always help that I have to admit, I have a lot of ephemera, so it helps that I have that ephemera also. I'll tell you another thing that really helps to kind of get a page going is if you just have a word phrase. You can use something out of the Tim Holtz Tiny Book, or you can look in the magazine and you can pull that out. And if you just put that on your page, I promise you things will start coming to you immediately on how to decorate your pages. Now, as you can see, I put the cards down using some of my washi tape because, I always say I'm trying to use more washi tape, and lately I've been doing a good job. But as much washi as I have, that little bit of washi tape I put down here is like just an inkling. It's nothing. So I have my gold Uniball pen out, and I'm just kind of tracing around things because I just wanted a little bit more snazziness to my page. The gold Uniball pen actually, it kind of makes the page classy. That's my story and I'm sticking to it, okay? I know it doesn't really make it classy, but who doesn't like gold, okay? That's my bling on the page. So, yeah, that's my business, all right? I like the bling on my page. So, now I'm really happy with the way the page is turning out. I got to do my journaling. I love being able to do the journaling on my pages as well as have a little artsy type of fun. And this book is like really kind of free for all in my head of just putting things down. I don't want to say slapping things down because it's a little bit rough. I'm going to say just gently putting things onto the page. So I took out some of my blue distress ink and I just went around the top and the bottom of the page to kind of give it a finished look. I put some staples in here because I didn't want the background page to lift off. And of course on the side it has the fabric on there because we did that when we made the book, which I love. When I get done with this book, I'm definitely going to make another one. But y'all know, this is not my only journal. I usually work in a few journals at a time. So this is my Posca pen. I decided to give it just, those words, a little bit of a frame. And then I took my gold paint pen and I just put some dots on here. And, I was just sitting here looking at the pages and I was just quite enjoying it. So I want to thank everybody who has joined me here over on the page, on the channel. Please make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification button again so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out. Leave in the comments what is your favorite part of this page because I love it. It came out so beautiful. And remember, you can see extra content over at the Patreon page, and you can support the channel that way as well. I would really appreciate it, and I want to thank those who are already patrons for Liz for a Day. You all are awesome, and you inspire me to make more content. So, with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease. From your sweet lotus blossom and lovable Lizzie, have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.